Tough, and I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It's really important that we reflect and respond when the electorate send a message like that. It's right that we do that. I think we have to set out the path ahead, and that's what I intend to do in coming days. How we rebuild, how we convince people about hope for the future, and we haven't done enough of that. And of course, hope for the future resides in our young people being able to go as far as their talent or ability will take them, not being held back by poverty. Hope resides in communities and families and households not feeling constantly held back by the cost of living. And hope resides in people feeling that they can be proud of the place where they live and they work. So I will be setting that out with clarity about my convictions and my values, what drives me forward on this.
The thing is, you have to convince your own MPs, don't you? There's a growing number of your MPs saying publicly that you should resign or you should set a timetable for your resignation. Will you?
It's very important that we do reflect on what was a tough set of results. But I'm not going to walk away and plunge the country into chaos.
You're in this for the long haul.
I think the right thing to do is to rebuild and show the path forward. We did make a number of really important calls in the last couple of years about stabilising the economy, investing in our public services, not getting drawn into the war in Iran. We need to couple to that the arguments we're making about hope and the future, about young people, about place. And so I will be setting out those arguments, but more than anything, setting out with clarity the values and convictions that drive me.
Let's be absolutely clear-cut. You're saying you're going nowhere. You would stand if you were challenged?
Look, it's very important that we don't. I'm not going to walk away from this. That would plunge the country into chaos. But that doesn't mean we don't need to respond. It doesn't mean we don't need to rebuild. It doesn't mean that we don't need to set out the path ahead. That's what I'm going to do in coming days. The things that we will do to take the country forward. Of course, we face difficult circumstances. We've got a war on two fronts. We've had a series of economic crises. But my job is to combine rising to those challenges with the hope and opportunity that gives people that real sense that things can get better. That I will do in coming days.
Let me put to you a remark this morning from your colleague Clive Betts, Labour MP. He was saying that over and over again when he was on the doorsteps in the last few weeks, people were saying to him they couldn't vote Labour because of you. And that must cut quite deep, that apparent personal animosity that people feel towards you, that you're seemingly dragging the party down.
Well, let me again say these results are tough and that hurts. Of course it hurts. It should hurt. But the right thing to do is to therefore set out the path forward. That is what I intend to do. I think, look, we made unnecessary mistakes, one of which was that we rightly, in my view, levelled with the public about the challenges that we face as a country, both on the finances and internationally. But what we didn't do is enough to convince them about the change that would impact them, how their lives would be better. The hope wasn't there enough in the first 2 years of this government. And that's why it's important for me now to set out where hope resides. It resides in our young people having the future to go as far as their talent or ability will take them, to genuinely have that, because if you've grown up in poverty, you don't get that chance, and to make sure that everybody feels the pride that I know they do feel about where they live and where they work. I'll be setting that out tomorrow and making very clear the values and convictions that drive me when I do so.
Last question. You're making a thing today of giving Harriet Harman and Gordon Brown roles. In what sense does that project a sense of the future, hiring blasts from the past?
Well, very obviously in the sense that I want women to have the opportunities that they deserve. I want to be able to tackle misogyny. I've made commitments on this, and Harriet working with the team, is the absolutely right person to do that. So it's very future looking, because this is about making sure that every woman has the opportunities that she deserves. And so Harriet will lead on that work, working with the Cabinet, working with the team. For Gordon, obviously, one of the big challenges we face is global finance. The war in Iran is causing real problems, economic impact. We need more spending on defence and security. That needs to come together around international mechanisms, and Gordon's got a track record on that, and so that is building the strong economy of the future. So on both fronts, they're very future-looking roles. They're vital to how we strengthen our country and take it forward and provide the opportunities that give people that hope for a better future.
Prime Minister, thank you.
Thank you.